What is Scandinavia? Scandinavia is a historical and geographical region including the three kingdoms of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. It is characterized by common ethnocultural heritage and mutually intelligible North Germanic languages. The term has also been used to refer to the Scandinavian peninsula or to the broader region more correctly known as the Nordic countries, which includes Finland, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands. In linguistic terms, Scandinavia can be expanded to include the areas where Old Norse was spoken and where the North Germanic languages are now dominant, thus also including Iceland and the Faroe Islands. However, the Finns form a distinct linguistic and ethnic group with a Finno-Ugric population that has been incorporated features from both Eastern and Western Europe. Being a purely historical and cultural region, Scandinavia has no official geopolitical borders. The region is therefore often defined according to the convenience of different disciplines or according to the political and cultural aims of different communities of the area. One example of the Scandinavian region as a political and cultural construct is the unique position of Finland. The creation of a Finnish identity is unique in the region in that it was forged in the decolonization struggles against two different imperial models, the Swedish and the Russian. The situation is described as follows. The construction of a specific Finnish polity is the result of successful decolonization. The politico-cultural location of Finland is a moving one. It has shifted from being a province in the Swedish Empire to an autonomous unit in Eastern Europe, then to an independent state in Northern Europe or Scandinavia. After the joining the European Union, Finland has recently been included in Western Europe. Geographically, the Scandinavian peninsula includes what is today mainland Sweden and mainland Norway. A small part of northwestern Finland is sometimes also considered part of the peninsula. In physiography, Denmark is considered part of the North European plain, rather than the geologically distinct Scandinavian peninsula mainly occupied by Norway and Sweden. However, Denmark has historically included the region of Scania on the Scandinavian peninsula. For this reason, but even more for cultural and linguistic reasons, Denmark, Jutland of the Jutland Peninsula of the European continent, along with Zealand and the other islands in the Danish archipelago, is typically considered part of the Scandinavian region also by the Scandinavians themselves. A wider definition of Scandinavia, sometimes used in the English-speaking world, includes Finland, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands. However, this large region is officially known as the Nordic countries, a political entity and cultural region where the ties between the countries are not only historical and cultural, but based on official membership. The use of the name Scandinavia as a convenient general term for the peninsula region is fairly recent. According to some historians, it was adopted and introduced only in the 18th century, at a time when the ideas about a common heritage took root and began to appear as literary and linguistic Scandinavism. Before this time, the term Scandinavia was familiar mainly to classical scholars through Pliny the Elder's writings and was used vaguely for Scania and the southern region of the peninsula. The popular usage of the term as a unifying concept in Sweden, Denmark, and Norway became more firmly established in the 19th century through poems such as Hans Christian Andersen's I Am a Scandinavian of 1839. After a visit to Sweden, Andersen became a supporter of early political Scandinavism, and in a letter describing the poem to a friend he wrote, all at once I understood how related the Swedes, the Danes, and the Norwegians are, and with this feeling I wrote the poem immediately after my return. We are one people, we are called Scandinavians. The historic popular usage is also reflected in the name chosen for the shared multinational airline, Scandinavian Airline System, a carrier originally owned jointly by the governments and private investors of the three countries. The use of the term Scandinavian for the culture of the Nordic region is reflected in the name chosen for the various promotional agencies of the Nordic countries in the United States and around the world, such as the American Scandinavian Foundation, established in 1910 by the Danish-American industrialist Niels Poulsen. Today, the five Nordic heads of state serve as the organization's patrons, and according to the official statement by the organization, its mission is to promote the Nordic region as a whole while increasing the visibility of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden in New York City and the United States. The term Scandinavia is most commonly used for Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. The term Nordic countries is used unambiguously for Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland, including Faroe Islands, Greenland, Åland, Jan Mayen, and Svalbard. Estonia has applied for membership in the Nordic Council based on its cultural heritage and close linguistic links to Finland, despite Estonia's being regarded as one of the Baltic countries. All Baltic states have shared historical events with the Nordic countries, including Scandinavia, over the centuries. The terms Fennoscandia and Fenno-Scandinavia are used to include the Scandinavian Peninsula, the Kola Peninsula, Karelia, Finland, and occasionally Denmark under the same term, alluding to the Baltic Shield even though Denmark is on the North European plain. The geography of Scandinavia is extremely varied. Notable are the Norwegian fjords, the Scandinavian mountains, the flat, low areas in Denmark, and the archipelagos of Sweden and Norway. When Finland is included, the moraines or ice age remnants and lake areas are also notable. The Scandinavian peninsula measures roughly 1,245 miles or 2,000 kilometers north to south. The climate varies from north to south and from west to east. A marine west coast climate typical of Western Europe dominates in Denmark, southernmost part of Sweden, and along the west coast of Norway, reaching north to 65° north, with orographic lift giving more than 78 inches per year precipitation in some areas in western Norway. The central part from Oslo to Stockholm has a humid continental climate which gradually gives way to subarctic climate further north and cool marine west coast climate along the northwestern coast. A small area along the northern coast east of North Cape has tundra climate due to lack of summer warmth. The Scandinavian mountains block the mild and moist air coming from the southwest. Thus northern Sweden and Finnmark's Vida Plateau in Norway receive little precipitation and have cold winters. Large areas in the Scandinavian mountains have an alpine tundra climate. Scandinavian languages. The codified standard languages of Scandinavia are often classified as belonging to either an East Scandinavian branch, it means Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish, or a Western Scandinavian branch, or New Norwegian, Icelandic, and Faroes. Most dialects of Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish are mutually intelligible, and Scandinavians can easily understand each other's standard languages as they appear in print and are heard on radio and television. The reason why Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian are traditionally viewed as different languages rather than dialects of one common language is that they each are well-established standard languages in their respective countries. They are related to, but not mutually intelligible with, the other North Germanic languages, Icelandic and Faroes, which are descended from Old West Norse. Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian have, since medieval times, been influenced to varying degrees by Middle Low German and Standard German. A substantial amount of that influence was a byproduct of the economic activity generated by the Hanseatic League. Norwegians are accustomed to variation and may perceive Danish and Swedish only as slightly more distant dialects. This is because they have two official written standards, in addition to the habit of strongly holding on to local dialects. The people of Stockholm, Sweden, and Copenhagen, Denmark, have the greatest difficulty in understanding other Nordic languages.